Canaries chasing yellow and green through every ground in the championship scene. Bags packed, scarves high, stories to share. Wherever the Canaries play, we'll be there. On the road, city, we're singing loud and proud. From the river to the terraces, we'll follow through the crowd. On the road, city, from Dublin to the Shire, we'll find the pubs, the songs, the hearts, and light the Canary fire. Fans in the stands tell us where to go, for a pint, for a bite, for the best pre-match glow. What's the town like? Where should we stay? What's the roar of your home crowd like?
Good evening, fans. Cillian here, the Irish Flying Canary, and I'm joined with my co-host, Nick, the Driving Canary. How are you this evening, Nick?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Cillian. Yeah, still trying and struggling to get over the Derby Day defeat as we move on to another Derby Day of a different kind. But I think that'll take a while to get over that one. But otherwise, yeah, all good. Looking forward to away days on the bounce, and can't wait to get going again after the international break and get on the road again.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Likewise, I'll be flying this, as you said there. This is a derby of a different kind, Derby County this time, the Rams, and I'll be flying into East Midlands Airport, which is handy enough around for me with Ryanair, and staying overnight, coming back the next morning. I guess you'll be doing your usual drive up. It's not a long one for you, Nick, is it?
No, about an hour and a half. Pick you up on the way, I'm sure. Get something to eat, and we'll find out from Kieran in a minute where to get something to eat, and and then we'll be on the road. Yeah, straight back home and an early start for work the next day. So it'll be a long week next week, I think.
Indeed. Well, speaking of that, we're delighted to be joined by avid Derby fan Kieran. You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us. Maybe you could start by telling us how you became a Derby fan.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Cillian and Nick. Thanks for inviting me on, and pleasure to be here. So, yeah, my Derby story begins before I remember anything really. So, I was born in 1986. So, by the early 90s, 91, 92, I think I was wearing a Derby shirt. I'm from Derby, and my family, my dad in particular, is a Derby fan. So, brainwashed from a very early age, and suffered since then. But to be honest, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Can you remember? Obviously, we're going before you remember. Can you remember your first big Derby occasion?
So I can't. This always bugs me because I can't remember specifically the first game I went to. It was definitely at the baseball ground, and I've got some vague memories of things going on, but not who we played or anything like that. So the most kind of poignant memory I've got in my head is actually at Wembley. So there was an old tournament back in the day, I think maybe late 80s, early 90s, called the Anglo-Italian Cup, which was pretty random. It was like second tier English teams versus second tier Italian teams. And somehow we got to the final, 1993, and we played Cremonese, who Jamie Vardy plays for now. Not really heard anything of them since, but so that was my big memory, a trip down south to London, great excitement and all that. And kind of it set the tone for future Wembley heartaches because we lost.
There.
The one time we did win was against West Brom, who we are their bogey team massively, and they're the only team we've beaten this season. Interesting fact, we've actually beaten them 3 times at the Hawthorns since we've last won at home. So yeah, the other 3 playoff finals we lost, including a last minute Bobby Zamora goal. So we've seen it all. But even the one that we won against West Brom in 2007, the following season we got the lowest ever points in the Premier League, so not sure that was worth it either. But a
record we've tried really hard to take off you, to be fair, in recent years, but we've never actually managed to grab that record. Speaking of Jamie Vardy, I went out for a tie with the family of my mum and dad a few weeks ago, and he was in there with Rebecca having their dinner as well with the kids.
Wow. And a Red Bull?
They don't live too far away from me, obviously not being in Norwich yet. They don't live too far away from me on the sort of Northants-Leicestershire border. So
nice. Brilliant, yeah.
We're living in Italy now by the sound of things.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Kieran, talk us through, if you wouldn't mind, your typical match day. Where do you go? What do you do? I understand you don't get to the games as often as you like to anymore because of work and relocation. But what does a typical match day look like for you, family and friends, and what do you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's something I still really look forward to. And like you said, I don't get to go as much as I'd like to, but this season certainly hoping to increase a bit more. So I used to have a season ticket several seasons ago. My dad still has one, and that's a big part of it for me. So when I can get back home and go to get a ticket for a home game, I really enjoy going with my dad. And yeah, sometimes we might go a little bit earlier to grab a drink beforehand, or sometimes after the game on the way home. But a lot of the time, it's just a really good opportunity for us just to spend some quality time together and have a nice leisurely stroll down to the stadium. So yeah, that's really enjoyable. And yeah, we try and get there at a decent time as the atmosphere and the crowds start to build. And yeah, we love Pride Park. It's probably location wise, it's not in the best place, as in it's like a bit isolated. It's in a big industrial park, but once we're in the stadium and in and around it, yeah, it's we still love it.
Yeah, it's a great place to buy a new car as well.
Yeah,
From memory, it's not like you say, not a lot around it apart from car garages and the harvester from from last season.
yeah, that is there.
Now, a
Is
subject really close to. Sorry, Cillian, go on.
sorry, go ahead, mate.
A subject really close to my heart, Kieran, is where do I get my tea before the match? But what's the best place for away fans to grab a bite to eat other than the Harvester, which I think is probably where most people default to for an away day.
Yeah, it is a default kind of place for away fans, but it is what it is, Harvester, isn't it? And I was thinking about this one, and I guess it depends which direction you're coming from. Those fans, I guess, getting a train or parking in town from that side, there are definitely more options. There's a couple of nice pubs near the train station which also do food, and I'm pretty certain are accommodating for away fans. I think maybe just covering up colours and things like that. So the Brunswick and the Alexander Hotel, really good. So Derby's a real kind of like it's got a good background in beer and breweries and things like that. So they're really good for if you like your ales, for example. Food wise, one place which is quite good is I suppose it's more of a restaurant, but it's quite close to Harvester. Is this place called Nico's? It's mainly Indian kind of food, but it's like quite a modern take on it. I think it does get a little bit of the football crowd in there, but it's maybe not the most obvious, but it's very close to Harvester. Other than that, yeah, you're looking at the subway and all those kind of places, which I'm sure traveling as far as you are, you'd want to go somewhere a little bit better. So, yeah, a couple of options there.
Let's get Nico's book then, Cillian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the last time I was there. I went for a meal, and it was after the game, and it was in a very fancy restaurant, and it was in it looked like an office building, but it was behind the Harvester, beside the Holiday Inn Hotel there.
Okay, yeah, I think I know 7 maybe.
That could be it. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. It was
So all of those are kind of just behind the train station as you're going towards the ground. So that 7 restaurant is pretty swishing there. I've never been, but that's very close to Nico's and Harvester. So yeah, try that one out maybe.
And speaking of food, is there any well-known dish that people should try when they're visiting Derby?
Not massively, not really translated to the city centre. I'd say yeah, you're going to get your normal kind of food. I guess it's more down to what we call it as locals. So like bread rolls, cobs, and that's a bit of a debate. I think that's a national debate, but very much in Derby and East Midlands, it's cobs. If you're going to a chippy, then and you wanted, I don't know, chips and gravy or chips and curry or something, you'd ask for a curry mix. So I didn't realise that was the thing. That's one of those things that you go to uni and you're somewhere else and you ask for something and never got a clue what you're on about. So yeah, they'll probably be the only things that come out, and come off the top of my head.
And in terms of parking, then I know Nick always looks for parking. Where do you normally park, Nick, in Derby?
I normally pre-book it. I think it's a university campus or a conference suite. It's as you come out the ground, you go over a bridge, over a big bridge, and it's pretty much the other side of that on a roundabout. It's I always book it through the big parking. I think it is the company, but they do football parking at a lot of grounds. But it's the same place I tend to park at Derby every year. It's like 10-minute walk from the ground. By the time you get there, the traffic is all right and you're straight out. So that's where I tend to park.
Good shout. Yeah, so there's kind of three big flyovers leading out away from the ground. The one that I think you're talking about is definitely the best one. And to be honest, that's the direction we park in, and probably a little bit further away, 15, 20 minutes walk. But like you said, it's worth walking away. And then by the time you're in your car and ready to go, the traffic is definitely subsiding. There's a big velodrome next to the stadium, and some fans park there or near the retail parks, but it's a nightmare getting out. Yeah,
It's the
so
Derby Conference Centre. It is. That's what it's called. The Derby
okay,
Conference Centre. Yeah,
yes, yeah, that's a good shout.
Very good. And to talk about then, so you talked about, you said the stadium's nice. Obviously we've been there, but a lot of Norwich fans wouldn't have been there and might be going for the first time. What's the atmosphere like? What can we expect in and around the stadium?
I would put our atmosphere up there. Obviously, I think like with all clubs, it's down to how are you doing and what type of football you're playing. I think we as a club always want to see good football. I wouldn't say we're seeing that at the moment, but I think there are some green shoots, and I think the vast majority of fans believe in the process that we're in at the moment. With we've got the manager we wanted, so we've made a lot of signings. So I think that's not quite translating in terms of the atmosphere, just because of how we're playing. It's very passive, very slow, a lot of passing around the back and all that kind of thing. So it's hard to get really buzzing about it. But I think generally, I would put us in the top half of the clubs in the Championship in terms of atmosphere. We've got a real loyal fan base. We're still averaging high 20s, and even last season when we were right down there. That didn't really veer. Okay, it's a midweek game, so I'd probably say around 25,000 maybe. Hopefully you guys bring quite a few, but the slow starts I guess we've had as well in most games this season, quite nervy, and I think that's translated to the atmosphere. Yeah, I think we can hold our own,
Well,
but an early goal would definitely help.
You mentioned the slow start there. I thought you were talking about Norwich, not Derby.
yeah, I was just going to say it sounds completely like, apart from the slow start, to be fair, when actually the first 25, 30 minutes have probably been our best minutes of the season. I think Pete the Kitman feeds them sleeping tablets in Horlicks or hot chocolate at half time. We seem to come out completely asleep. I've lost count of the number of goals we've conceded in like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the second half. Personally, I think we'll probably go one or two up fairly quickly based on what you said there. But then I think fairly early in the second half, you'll have pegged us back, and I'd be very surprised if it wasn't a score draw that we walk away with at the end of the game. But yeah, slow, laboured, new manager, new squad, passing it about the back, not really sure on the best formation, not really sure on the best starting 11. A number of players have managed to pick up injuries, muscle injuries again, which is something the club have been plagued with for years. So I think it could be a very interesting game. Just for context, we're recording this before the Bristol City at home game because I've got 3 days away now. We work in Barcelona. Our home form is atrocious. Our away form is a bit better, and hopefully we get a home win, and we then follow up with an away win. But my money's firmly on a score draw.
It's hard to do.
I think the last time we were there, Nick, isn't that when the groundspeople drew crooked the end line?
It was, yeah. It was right behind the goal, near your vocal fans as well, wasn't it?
It was.
When the touchline had got a little bit of a banana shape in it, and Josh Sargent managed to make the most of that banana-shaped line and get the ball in for Borges. I think, was it Borges first or second? But he certainly got a hat-trick that day, didn't he?
That was, yeah, to put it mildly, there was a bit of a stitch up there, and it was on TV as well, and even, really frustrating, that one, because I think we actually played pretty well that day as well, and we obviously weren't in form, and that didn't help whatsoever. So let's hope we're due a bit of vengeance for that one. But yeah, going back to your point, Nick, I think how we're all going at the moment, although we're pretty much the same place in the league, aren't we? We're the opposite, so I can certainly see us going behind. Our last 3 home games have been 1-1, and we've gone behind in all of them. At least we showed a little bit of character to get back into it. So I don't see any difference on Tuesday night. I think it's got 1-1 written all over it for me.
In terms of away attendance, if I was a betting man, I'd say there's probably going to be 14 or 1,500. When I look online, there doesn't look like there's loads of tickets left, but I'm not sure how many blocks of that away corner we've actually taken and sold, to be fair. But we tend to take between 1,000 and 1,200 to most away games, and Derby is, it's not the longest trip that Norwich fans will do. In fact, we've got that pretty much straight after you with Swansea away on the Saturday after Derby away. But there are quite a number of Norwich fans that live in and around the Midlands anyway. So I envisage 1,000 to 1,200, and I know it's half term for some schools as well. It's half term that week, so again, that obviously allows kids to get out on a school night. So I'd think that'd probably be a good away end, and like you say, your vocal fans are right next to the away end as well, aren't they?
That's
On
right.
that sort of behind the goal. I wonder if they painted the line straight this season, but yeah, your vocal fans are a little bit there, aren't they?
I think that's definitely going to come up at some point. Yeah, some kind of reference or chant to that might be coming from you guys, to be fair. But yeah, I think that's a decent crowd. I think you've got, from where you are in the country, most of your trips are long anyway, and this is relatively short for you, but it's still a decent distance on a Tuesday night. So, but if you can bring 1,000 to 1,500, I think that'll be more than enough to create a good atmosphere overall.
Given what you said there, Nick, about the half term break and that, we might have some kids there. Is there any opportunity for the kids or even adults to meet the players or see them up close?
Don't quote me on this because it's not something I've done for a long time, but I'm still pretty sure the coaches, they pull up right to the front entrance of the West Stand. So you guys will be in the southeast corner. So the West Stand, yeah, like I said, where the main entrance is. I don't know how early, especially on a weekday evening kickoff, they arrive or what time they leave, but definitely as a kid, when we were in the Premier League, we used to most home games stop after the game and try and get autographs and things like that. And it was great. There's this gate to the front, so where the players' entrances. So yeah, I'm pretty certain that's still definitely an opportunity.
Well, it's one of the things I like about the Championship, which obviously teams that come out of the Championship seem to keep it up, but some of the Premier League teams, you've no chance to see the players.
That's a shame. Yeah.
I seem to remember you, Cillian, you getting a photo last season with the Derby mascot as well in that corner somewhere. I know last season you secured a few with most mascots around the country, but I remember really fondly the capturing the photo of you with the Derby mascot last
The
season.
two Rams with their fan hub shirts on them.
Yeah, Rami and Yui. So I bet they're smiling on the outside there. I bet they're fuming on the inside with all the ref decisions. But yeah, good that they stopped for a photo.
What's your prediction for the final score then, Kieran? Obviously, both Norwich and Derby have made a fairly atrocious start to the season. Our best form is on the road. Your worst form is at home. For me, it's got a long come Norwich written all over it, which is where Norwich turn up or people come to Norwich having not won or on a really poor streak or haven't won at Carrow Road for 50 years, and obviously then they do. So, what's your prediction for the score? Obviously, I went for a score draw. I think it'll probably be 2-2 or 3-3. But what are your thoughts?
So that point around the along came Norwich, we maybe don't phrase it like that, but we definitely have a version of that. So we're good at breaking other clubs' hoodoos and things like that. So maybe we'll just hit neutral against each other and counteract each other. So I'm sticking with what I said, 1-1 for me. I think there's only one game we haven't scored in all season, and that was a home game. We still haven't won at home, like I said. We seem to not really wake up until we've conceded, and then the players start finding something. But like I said, more second half. So I think half time you guys will be 1-up and comfortable, and I think we'll find something again, maybe a sub off the bench, and it'll be a 1-1 for me.
How do you think you might end the season, Kieran?
Yeah, so this season, touched on it earlier, for the first time in ages, well before COVID, is the first season we as fans have felt optimistic that we're looking forward to the season starting. Obviously, it hasn't gone to plan so far, but I think just with the change, like I said, Eustace has come in, he's built his own new squad, but he's tinkered with formations. He wants to instill his philosophy, but he's still got remnants of what's going on before. And I think he doesn't know his starting 11, like you said, Nick, earlier. So I think last year we survived by the skin of our teeth. We went down to the last game. We need to build on that. So I think we all would love a mid-table finish. I think realistically, somewhere between 12th and 17th for me would be a success built on last season. But I think this season in the Championship, I know it's still early days, but it feels like a little bit more of a level playing field. there's no. I mean, I know Coventry are banging them in for fun, but I don't know. I think a club like one of us, if you go on a good run, you just don't know, do you? But I'm keeping my feet firmly on the ground, and I think mid-table, lower mid-table, I'll take that for now. And an improvement in just type of football.
I have one last question for you. I'm obviously staying over because I can't get back to Dublin after an evening kickoff, but I'm staying out near the airport, East Midlands, because I've an early flight the next day. But if Norwich fans want to stay around Derby, is there anywhere you'd recommend?
Well, there's one or two hotels right near the ground, like you said, the Holiday Inn. There's one near the station as well. They're planning on spending a nice few days in Derby. I wouldn't, and this is someone who's from Derby, I wouldn't do that necessarily. If they got a full day the day before or on the day, then maybe just take a short trip out, drive out into the countryside because it is beautiful. So district, you really can't go wrong. Even when the weather's not great, you can still have a nice time. So the city centre is not the best. I'm not going to try and cover that up at all. So, but yeah, there are plenty of hotels in the mean season stuff quite near the ground. Like I said, city centre's only 15-minute walk, which is quite handy as well.
When you say not the best, will it not be safe for fans to be around there?
No, safety is fine. I think there's just not a lot happening on a Tuesday night in late October. It's not exactly the place.
I tend to agree, Kieran. I've been to Derby several times watching football, and the best thing about it, from my perspective, is driving home with 3 points in my pocket. It's certainly not a place, and like I say, even with Pride Park now being where it is, it's it's so far removed from everywhere else that there isn't a great deal to do, is there? So, Kieran, thanks for your time. Thanks for talking us through your thoughts for the season and your love and passion for Derby County. Cillian and I are going for our own top spot this Christmas and releasing a rock album. So I'll hand over to Cillian now, and he'll play us out with the Derby away day tune.
Yeah, so every week we, as your fans, as you know, who are subscribed to us, we have a new single of that from that album. And this week we're going to play you out with Canaries on the Rampage. Thanks for watching. And Kieran, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
East Midlands roads, Cillian's wings and Nick's heavy load. Pride Park's waiting, the Rams will see a yellow and green